All right, so today we're going to use a ball. So if you could grab one of your tennis balls or yoga tune-up balls, dryer ball, anything you've got. We'll definitely use a chair for support, a blanket. I've got my blocks nearby. You might want a strap as well, or anything with any length to it. And we'll get started on our backs. I'm going to start my back with my knees bent. I'm going to use a little head and neck support for myself. So coming down onto your back, taking a sigh. And right away beginning to notice where you're making contact with the floor. The back of your body, maybe your arms, your feet, your hips, maybe wiggle your toes a little bit. Noticing your breath as it comes in and as it goes out. And if you're ready to, you could begin a bigger breath through your nose, like a wider breath. And then long out through the mouth, like you're blowing out through a straw slowly. And then you might transition to just breathing in and out through your nose if you'd like. And we're going to do a kind of breathing where it's equal in and equal out. So you might breathe in for a count of 4 and out for a count of 4. Or maybe your breath is longer and you want to count longer. So it could be in for 6, out for 6. Just kind of playing around with this breath that's equal parts on the inhale and the exhale. And when you're ready, can begin to move. So on our inhale, let's stretch arms up and overhead. And on your exhale, let's bring the right knee in and give it a squeeze. We're going to switch side to side. So inhale, arms over. Exhale, left knee in. Keep going. You can stay with an equal inhale and exhale if that works for you. Next time you bring your right knee in, let's stay there. And on the inhale, let's straighten out the left leg on the floor. And then on the exhale, begin to circle the right knee and hip around and around. Do a couple of times in one direction and then reverse your direction. Good. And then when you get back to the center, let's take the left hand to the knee, extend your right arm, and inhale as you bring your knee across your body. And exhale, roll back to center and repeat. Again, I'm trying to keep my inhale and my exhale even just to help me focus on something with my breath as well. This time, if you want to stay over there in the twist, go for it. Notice how it feels throughout your shoulder and arm that's extended, and in your hip, your low back, your mid back, your breath. And then on your exhale, coming back to the center and releasing the leg down to the floor. Good. Notice the two sides for a moment. And then inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, left knee comes in. And I'll hold it there and using the left hand, making circles, a few in one direction and then a few in the other, letting your breath be continuous. When you come back to the center, let's hold the knee with the right hand, extend the left arm, and inhale as you bring it across. And exhale back to center a few times. When the next time, if you stay there, just taking a few breaths and noticing if this side feels different than the first side. Good. When you're ready, coming back to the center, releasing the leg down and pausing. Noticing the two sides, maybe straightening yourself out if necessary. All right, we're going to bend the knees, stretch arms overhead. Exhale to bring the right knee in. Let's hold behind the leg. Now you could always use a strap behind the leg if it feels better. And looking up at your ankle, we're just going to straighten the leg a little bit so that you can see your foot. Okay, so it doesn't need to be all the way straight. In fact, it's better if it's not all the way straight. Okay, now feel that left foot on the floor. I'm even moving mine around a little bit, just getting it grounded. All right, now looking at the right foot. I'm going to inhale, pull the toes towards your shin, dorsiflexion of the ankle, and then exhale, I'm going to point the toes away from the shin, plantar flexion, and repeat. Try to move your ankle and foot in a straight path if you can. And notice how this feels. Notice how much range of motion you have in your ankle. Okay, now the next time that you bring the toes toward the shin, let's stay there, breathe, relax your shoulders. Okay, now keeping the toes pulling down, I'm going to try to just moving the ankle, turn the ankle or turn the foot so it points to the right a little bit diagonally and then to the left. The sole of the foot is trying to be facing the ceiling so it's flat if it can. And right away I start to feel this in my shin muscle here, my anterior tibialis. I'm trying not to kind of sickle or point the ankle. Do a few more, relaxing your jaw without moving your knee. Okay, now I'm going to come back to the center and point the ankle. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to turn the ankle one way and then the other. When I do this, it's like I'm drawing a smile with my toes. Few more. Might be getting more fatigued in those lower leg muscles now. Keep breathing. And we're going to make a big circle. So going all the way around in one direction a few times and try to make those circles as slowly or very slowly and also make the full range of motion and then go the opposite way. Still relaxing the shoulders, relaxing your jaw. Good. And then come back to center and just shake, shake, shake out the leg. All right, and then let's put that foot down. And just pause before switching sides. Notice how the right leg feels compared to the left. Take a breath in and out. All right, let's bring the left knee in, hold behind the leg with hands or strap, then lifting the ankle up just enough so that you can see it. Okay, we'll start with pulling the toes toward the shin on the inhale. Exhale, point them away. Repeat. And we're looking for a straight path, a straight and smooth path, and full range of motion. Okay, now let's keep it in that dorsiflexion, toes pulling towards shin, and we're going to start the side to side motion. Trying not to move the knee and trying to keep it in that dorsiflexion without turning over the foot or pointing the toes at all. Coming back to center, let's now point the ankle, and we'll do the same thing, turning the foot in and out without moving the knee. This is the one that's like a smile that you're drawing with your toes. Okay, now big circles. You're going through dorsiflexion and plantar flexion, a few times in one direction, and then reversing. Good, and then let it go and shake, shake, shake it out. Let's put the foot on the floor with the knee bent and just notice the two sides. Feel all 10 of your toes. I'm going to take away anything big from behind the head and just relax your arms down. We'll feel the balls and heels of the feet press into the floor as you inhale. Lift the hips up off the floor, pressing into the back of the head, and exhale, lower down and repeat. Few more. Okay, next time you come down, we're going to start to rock the pelvis. So as you inhale, we're going to inhale, press the low back toward the floor and lift the toes off the floor and the soles of the feet. So you're basically rocking onto the heel. That's what I mean to say. Okay, that'll be the inhale. And then as you exhale, let's put the feet back down, lift the heels. As you rock your pelvis forward, you see I have a low back curve here. There's space here. Okay, so it's going to be inhale, press the low back down, rock on heels. Exhale, rock forward, lift heels, low back curve. Okay, repeat a few more times. You may need to adjust where your feet are to be able to move the ankles. Trying to take those ankles through a straight path. Okay, so now we're going to add the two things together. So we're going to add bridge pose in here. So as we inhale, we'll press the low back down, rock onto the heels, lift the hips, and then as you exhale, lower hips, rock pelvis forward, lift heels. Repeat. Inhale, low back down, rock onto heels, lift hips. Exhale, lower hips, rock pelvis forward, lift heels. Inhale, low back down, rock onto heels, lift hips. Exhale, lower hips, rock pelvis forward, lift heels. Okay, try a couple more. Good, and then just come back to the center, kind of shake out, or you might bring both your knees into your chest or windshield wiper the knees. And then you can either roll onto your side and press up, or you can rock yourself up. We're gonna need your ball and your block. Now, I know I didn't say a block was required. Another thing you could use is a small stool, or you could use a stack of books, okay? So what we're gonna do is gonna take the ball and take your block or your book, put your ball on it, and then we're gonna put one of our calves on the ball at the top third of the calf. Okay, another way to do this, so I'll be sitting with my legs out in front like that. Say that it's hard for you to sit. Sorry, that was loud. Or you're just tired. You could also do this with your leg on a chair, the ball on the chair, okay? And the top of your calf on the ball like this, and then you can just lie down. Okay, so you choose which way you want to do it. I'm going to sit up. Okay, so ball, top third of calf. Going to find a spot that's a little tight, a little or a lot tight. Okay, in that top third of the calf that you feel like you might, like a little knot or something. Okay, there might be more than one. Okay, and then once you've found it, you're just going to flex and point the ankle. Now for me, I need a little more pressure there. So I'm going to put my other leg and just cross it on top and do that. I'm going to flex and point, massaging out the top of the calf. You can also roll the ankle around. Just keep breathing. If you're rolling in the opposite direction now. Good. And now we're going to move the ball to the center or the middle third of the calf. And again, try to find a tight spot. Okay. And then if you want, you can add more weight. If you're doing this on the chair, you just sit up a little bit and move it. Okay. Now, if it's really tight, even without the other leg, kind of tensing and relaxing slowly can help, because some people will be really tight in here. So you might not need to do the ankle movements is what I'm saying. It might simply just be a tightening and a relaxing of the muscles of the calf. Might flex and point, might roll the ankle. Ooh. Okay, and when you're ready to move on, can go to the bottom third of your calf and find a spot, or find another spot in another part of your calf if another spot is better. I'm going to actually stay in the middle third for me because I have several there. And same thing. Okay, mobilizing that calf by moving the ankle around. Or you can tighten and release the muscle if it's really intense. You might just do that. All right. Now let's come off the ball. If you're laying down on your back, you can just stay there with your legs over the chair. If you're seated, just kind of notice the two sides. You might even hinge forward a little bit. Notice the difference in how the two sides feel. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So the ball goes under the top third of the calf somewhere, kind of hunting around for a tight spot. Okay, it could be on the inside, like right now I'm going to the inside of the calf. It could be on the outside, it could be in the center. Deciding if you want to add more weight, breathing. And then you can start to mobilize with the ankle, I mean. About staying about 30 seconds in each spot. Going to the middle somewhere. And you can just tighten and soften. Add weight. Just want to try to keep your breath smooth. Excuse me, I can't stop yawning today. All right, and now let's go to the last spot. Hunt around, find your location that you want to work on. All right, and then coming off. Again, just noticing it first. The two sides, you might even hinge forward, or if you're on the chair, you might start to come up now. Good, and now let's move the ball and the block or books out of the way. Take the knees to bend. You can prop up your hands behind you. Just start to windshield wiper the knees side to side. So it might be small, rolling over the ankles. So I'm kind of lifting my toes up a little bit, but keeping the balls of the feet down. I might take the knees all the way to the floor into more of a swivel seat like this. Or it may be smaller, depending on your hips, your knees. Okay, and then let's come onto a tabletop position. You could always pad your knees if you want. You could always be on your forearms instead of your wrists if you'd like. Okay, and so from here, I'm gonna press down into the fingertips if you're on your hands and try to tuck your toes under behind you. So I'm gonna try to get even my pinky toes down there. I really open up my feet. If you have trouble, you can reach back to get those pinky toes in there if you can. Now, if you have any knee stuff going on, so I have a little bit of a knee thing going on, so what I'm going to do is actually unfold my blanket a little bit, and I'm going to take a folded up blanket or a rolled up blanket or towel right behind my knee joint so that I'm protecting my knee a little bit, creating a little more space in there as I sit back toward my heels to open up my feet, and then I can get my pinky toe tucked under on that knee side. If you have knee issues like I do on this side, I'm even pulling my blanket forward a little bit, creating a little more space in that knee joint where I'm trying. Good. Now, some people might be sitting up on their heels like this. Okay, so I'm going to show it on the side with my good knee. You could have both knees folded under, okay, and sitting back. Others, it'll be enough just to open this way, okay? And now you can also place your toes flat. You can also use the knee spacer for this as well and start to sit back with toes, with ankles flat. Okay, in that plantar flexion. You might even be sitting up or even leaning back, lifting knees off the floor. Okay, and you can go between these two positions, just opening up the feet and ankles. Okay, doing a few more like that to your range of motion for your knees and ankles. Just trying to open them up. I'm a little challenged with this knee today. Good. All right. And then from there, we're going to come up onto our feet. And I'm just pausing in a little bit of a downward dog. Now, you could always do this in front of the chair. So you could take your hands to the chair, stretch back like this, right? Or your hands on the floor like this. And I'm just pedaling out my feet here. Okay, so either way, chair or floor. Good, and then slowly walking your hands and feet towards one another, standing up. Inhale to reach your arms up. Exhale, arms out and down. Arms at your sides, feeling all of your toes. You could give them a little wiggle. Could go a little bit of a rock on your feet. Feel the balls and heels of your feet. Tadasana or mountain pose. 3 breaths here, arms relaxed. All right, we're going to take our ball again. And you could hold a wall or at your chair, the back of your chair. You could even sit down. We're just stand without anything like I'm going to show. I'm going to roll out one of my feet. So just stick with one side to start. And we're just going to do this briefly today. If you want to pause on a spot or do any of the other ball tricks we do on the feet, go for it, okay? Okay, when you're ready, stand on both feet again. Notice the difference in the 2 sides. All right, second side. All right, and then you can scoot your ball off to the side and stand back in Tadasana, mountain pose. And just notice if anything feels different now. Let's come back to that same length, inhale and exhale. Okay, Samavritri. Here we go. Inhaling for 4 or longer. And exhaling for the same length. You could use your pursed lip exhale, or you could use a sigh or Ujjayi exhale. All right, and now we're going to face the seat of our chair. You can stay with that same kind of breathing. As you inhale, take your arms up. And exhale, let's hinge at your hips and fold, hands to chair. Inhale, reach chest forward. Exhale, right foot under chair. Step left foot back, heel up. Inhale, reach your chest forward, shoulders down your back. Exhale, step your back foot in a little bit. Right leg joins it and come into down dog. 3 breaths here. Getting long through your torso, so really stretching out from your fingertips all the way to your hips. You can always have your knees bent. And then inhale, bending knees, look between the legs of your chair. Exhale, step the left leg forward. You might need to back up the right leg to get the heel up. Now, when I say shoulders down your back, what I mean is actually just away from your ears, relaxing your shoulder blades down. Good. Not a lot of weight on your hands. And then on the next exhale, we're going to bring that left foot a little bit out from under the chair and just step the right leg forward. Inhale, reach your chest forward. Exhale, bend the knees, weight in heels. Inhale to stand. And exhale, arms out to the sides and down. Good. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, reach chest forward. Exhale, let's step right leg back to our lunge. Heel up if you can, or heel off floor if you can. Inhale, shoulder blades down back. Exhale, step right leg in a little bit, back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths. And then inhale, look between the legs of the chair. Exhale, right leg steps under chair. You might need to back left leg up. Inhale, shoulder blades down back. Exhale, step right leg out from under chair a little bit. Left leg steps forward. Inhale, reach chest forward. Exhale, bend knees, sitting toward the back. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms out to the sides and down. Good. All right. Now, I'm just going to feel the feet on the floor again, standing in Tadasana. All right. We're going to try to lift. You can look down at them too. Look down at your toes and see if you can lift all 10 of your toes off the floor while pressing the balls of the feet down. Keep breathing. Good. And you can look down. You can even use your hands to help you or sit in a chair and do that. We're going to try to tap the big toe up and down. So tap it down to the floor and back up while keeping the other toes lifted. Just see if your toes can do this. Again, you can assist. That'll help your brain get it too. Good. Now leave the big toes up. Let's try to put all of the other toes down. So the other 8 toes down. Good. And then see if you can lift and lower the other 8 toes up and down. Good. And then just relax your feet. You can scrunch and release your feet. All right. Now, we're going to be standing in a warrior 2 pose. So if you feel a little bit unbalanced here, what you could do is you could take the back of your chair and just put it in front of you like this, okay? I'm not going to have this here so you can see me, all right? But I'd have my right toes open to the side. I'm going to kick my left heel back a little bit, but I'm not facing the right leg with my belly button, facing the side, right? And we're just going to start by bending and straightening that right knee. So we'll exhale, bend the knee, inhale, straighten it, and repeat, okay? So here, exhale, bend, and you could even do it like this, have one hand on your chair. And as you're doing this, could you look at your knee and foot and just see, is the knee, is it going toward the center of the foot as it bends, or is it going toward the big toe side of the pinky? Just notice where it's going, okay? And now we're going to very slowly and carefully start to I need to take this sock off, it keeps coming off. We're going to start to take the knee inward a little bit. So as I do this, my foot is rolling toward the big toe side and my knee is kind of coming in. So usually how I tell you not to do warrior 2, okay? But we're trying to see how it feels with different positions of our knee and what our foot feels like when our knee is like that. Okay, so try to build that brain-body connection. And we also we want to be able to be strong and mobile in all angles. Right? Okay, now let's try to go toward the outer foot. So the foot kind of rolls to the pinky toe side and the knee opens toward that side. Try that a couple times. Okay, now we're going to go around in a circle. Right? Again, you can be holding a chair. So I'm circling from pinky toe to big toe, and now from big toe to pinky toe. Good, and then back to center. Now I'm just gonna try to go straight down the middle and notice if I can feel even pressure through the foot. Relax through your shoulders, and then let's hold there for just a couple breaths. You might even bring your arms up. Good, and then straightening the leg. We're gonna switch sides, okay? So we'll kick the right heel back, open the left foot into warrior two pose. Okay, just a little, not a huge one, okay? First I'm just coming in and out, bending and straightening. I'm gonna look at my front knee and foot and just notice where it's naturally going, what part of my foot, what the knee looks like moving there, if it's steady or wobbly. Good. And now we'll practice going toward the inner foot, just carefully. Okay, you wanna make sure you don't have pain. And I go to the inner foot and the knees kind of crashing in as well. Feels quite different for me on this side. This is my non-knee injured side. Okay, now I'm gonna go toward the outer foot. So I lean toward the pinky toe edge of the foot. And the knee and hip have to open a lot more. I feel a bigger stretch on my inner thigh. Good. Now I'm gonna go around in a circle on the foot, and the knee is circling as well. And then reversing. Good. And then I'm going to try to go straight down the middle. The sock is coming off as well. So just straight down the middle. I'm going to look at it to see. And then if you want to, you can hold that pose, warrior two. You might even take the arms up. Remembering your breath, an even breath. Good, and then coming out when you're ready, legs straightens. Let's walk the feet toward one another. All right, feeling yourself in Tadasana pose again. All 10 of your toes, shoulders, top of head reaching towards ceiling. Breathing in and out. All right, find a focal point. If you want to, you can put your back against a wall for balance support, but we're just going to try to keep this really small so that you can try it without balance support as well. Okay, we're gonna do tree pose. And so to do that, we're gonna bring the left foot first, or the left side first. So right leg is down, left knee bends, excuse me, turning the knee out toward the side, any amount that allows you to stay lifted through the hips. So in this version right here, I have a little kickstand on the floor, another point on the floor. You could also try to take your foot off the floor. You could even bring that foot up to your inner thigh, possibly. Okay, so any of those places. And your hands can come together to touch in front of your chest, or they might reach up toward the ceiling. Keep breathing. Relax your face, relax your jaw. One more breath, tree pose. And then coming down. All right, second side, kind of step side to side a little bit. Get your focal point. Then right knee bends, knee turns out. If it feels okay, you can have a little kickstand here. Just don't want to stay, see how I pushed my hip over? You want to try to stay upright through the center. Okay, any height with the foot. Face calm, breathing. Good, and then coming down when you're ready. All right, we're going to combine some things together. So I'm going to take the chair along my right side. Okay, let's just right here. And I'm going to start out in tree pose. Okay, so you can be holding your chair if you want. You don't have to. I'm going to inhale, stand tall. Exhale, bring my left foot into tree pose. You can take the palms a touch if you want. Inhale. Now as you exhale, you're going to bring the knee forward and start to take the leg back behind you. Now, it's okay if the toes are on the floor. They could be up. You're going to keep your chest lifted a little bit, even as you hinge, and your hand could always grab the chair. Good. Inhale here. Exhale, back to tree pose. Inhale here. Exhale, back to warrior three pose. Remember, you can use the chair. Inhale here. Exhale, back to tree. Last time. Inhale here. Exhale, warrior three. Inhale. Exhale, let's stand up. All right, step side to side. You can turn your body around, have the support on your left side if you want it. And inhale, get your focal point, stand tall. Exhale, right leg comes into tree. Inhale. Exhale, bring the knee forward and go back into warrior three pose. Inhale. Exhale, tree pose. Inhale. Exhale, warrior three pose. Inhale. Exhale, tree pose. Inhale. Exhale, warrior three. This is the last movement. Inhale. Exhale, stand. Pause. Let's swing and twist a little bit. Let the arms flop around. Relax your jaw. All right. You can leave your chair where it is. Okay. And then take our right leg forward and the left leg back, warrior one pose. Okay. So feet are hips distance. Back heel is down in this one. I'm going to lean forward, and I can just use my quadricep, my thigh, to prop, or I might take my chair in front of me. And I'm going to extend through the spine. And I'm trying to get into my back calf, so the lower back of leg, as I work my heel toward the floor. I'm going to try to lift my front toes. They're not going to actually come off the floor, but it's like I'm trying to do that. A couple more breaths there. Good, and then slowly coming up. And now the right leg back, same thing, okay? Just finding the position that works for you as far as feeling a stretch in that back ankle or calf. Jaw relaxed, face relaxed. Good, and then stepping up and noticing, following your breath in and following your breath out. Noticing how your feet feel, feeling all 10 toes, balls of feet, heels of feet. Good. All right. We're going to come down to the floor for a little bit of breath work. So you can sit in the chair if you prefer. Also, we are going to be practicing a legs up the wall pose. Now, if I didn't mention that you might need a wall earlier. So if you want a wall space, just getting that, finding that in a moment. You could also do legs over chair if you don't have a wall space. Okay, so that would be legs just 90 degrees over the chair. If you have a chair like me where your feet could go through this little hole, then when you do that, it'll face this way, your legs come over the chair, your feet go through here. But if you have like a dining chair, you'll have to turn the chair to the side, right? So your legs won't get stopped by the back of the chair. All right. With all of that said, I'm just taking my my mat close to the wall, or you could also sit in your chair. I'm going to come down to the floor, getting a pillow or a blanket to sit on. Have a seat. You could also sit against the wall. Your legs can be in any position that they feel best. Okay, so we've been practicing that breath with an even inhale and an even exhale, right? Same length. Now we'll try a longer exhale, maybe even twice as long as your inhale. All right, so to work up towards that, we can work toward the Ujjayi breathing or Ujjayi breathing, the victory breath. So we'll start like this. We'll do pursed lip exhale like you're blowing out through a straw slowly. So it's inhale like you're inhaling a pretty smell of a flower. And then exhale, blowing out through pursed lips. And repeat. And just notice if you, with this version, are able to get that exhale longer than your inhale. Okay. Now, you can continue with that, or you could blow out like you're sighing or fogging up a mirror or your glasses. It makes a little sound in the back of your throat, like this. And by constricting the back of your throat, it makes the space smaller that the air is coming out, so it slows down that exhale. So it just gives you a little assistance. So just, see how these two have gone so far. You can stick with either one of those. You could also close your mouth to practice the Ujjayi breathing, where you inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose, but it'll feel like you're sighing against the back of your lips on the inside, okay? Still making that little sound like the sigh. Now I'm working toward making my exhale 2 times longer than my inhale. So I'm inhaling for 4, I'm exhaling for 8. All right, now either coming into legs over the chair as I described before, or legs up the wall. Okay, I'm going to come into legs up the wall. Either one is fine. I'm just grabbing myself a little head and neck support. I'm going to put my blanket over my body. This pose feels really good to me after being on my feet for a long time. If you are quite flexible in the hamstrings, then you might get your butt right against the wall because there won't be a lot of tension there. If that's like a big stretch for you, then you can back your hips up, right? So there's not as much. You could back them up even more than this, okay? Again, over the chair, it would look, something like this with them bent. All right, now I'm gonna get mine close. You decide, take your time, decide what feels best to you, and come on into it when you're ready. Now, if your blood pressure is really high and it's not controlled, it might feel like too much to take your legs up, in which case don't do it, okay? Can change, but typically your blood pressure will start to regulate once you get into it if you're not having any struggles with that. And you can work with that longer exhale for several breaths. You can let your breath go. Just let it be natural. You could even take a different position, like you might open up your legs into a V here. You could always put blocks underneath them or pillows under the legs. Another position you might take is a wide squat at the wall with your feet on the wall, your back on the floor. My pelvis is in neutral. I'm kind of rocking it forward so I'm not pressing it down. This can be a nice position too, stretching through the hips. And then you can also take the soles of the feet together, opening up the knees like a butterfly type position. Right? They start to peel apart, open like a book as the knees open further. I'm not going to do that one because to my knee, but you can certainly do that or any of the ones we've done so far. I'm going to go back to legs up the wall. See if you can soften once you find a position. Soften your face, your eyes, your jaw. If you're not comfortable in the legs over the chair, legs up the wall position, feel free to just come into Shavasana, lying on the floor, or any other relaxation pose for the next couple of minutes. And just let your breath go now, trying to get yourself comfortable if you can, letting go of tension. If you can, drop in, letting go, as though you're just releasing to gravity. Whenever you're ready, you can start to come out, or you might stay here longer. And I will see you next time.